of us, it's Happy New Year.
Okay.
Thank you for joining us on the first True Temperance International Family Health Show for 2021. Your hosts today are myself, Sharon Wallace, and
Jonathan.
There you go, Jonathan Curlew. We haven't seen him for a little while, but he's been there all the time, just in the background, assisting. So, sorry about that. So this week is going to be another exciting week where we have a guest presenter with us, Dr. Gandhi Madzala, and he's going to be going through, well, I'll tell you, the title is, if you didn't know already, it's walking out of, there we go, walking out of obesity. Okay, my memory just went then, but it came back, praise the Lord. So before we go into your testimonies, because we're going to let you do the first part of the show, our listeners, our audience, where we're going to allow you to give us some feedback as to how you have been on your health journey throughout 2020 and what your plans are, your hopes are for this coming year. But I'm going to ask if Jonathan can read our disclaimer. We'll just get that up on the screen. We'll just do a screen share. Sorry, we're just waiting for the screen share to come in. Okay.
Good evening, everyone, and Happy New Year to you all. And we are grateful, like Sharon said, to have you guys joining us again. A new year, a new start. You know, if anybody fall down during last year, it's a new beginning and we can start over again. However, the disclaimer remained the same, TTI disclaimer. Only a physician can diagnose, treat, and prescribe for illness or disease. Any information disclosed or discussed at the TTI talk show or for educational informational purposes only. Please continue to seek professional medical advice from your general practitioner regarding any illnesses or disease you may be suffering from. I hope as Dr. Gandhi present and even the testimonies that we should be hearing this evening, that we all will be blessed. We will be encouraged to take up some of these challenges and to enjoy better health as we go forward in a new year. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much for that, Jonathan. So I'll invite you to, in an orderly manner, form a queue. You can raise your hand or raise your hand and unmute. So the invitation goes out for you to let us know, because we didn't expect that we'd be still doing this now in 2021. I mean, we started these Zoom shows in, I think it was May or possibly April time. Who would have known that we'd still be here now? So now's an opportunity for you to let us know how you have found the programs that we've been doing, the WhatsApp groups, the cooking shows, the advice, the presentations from various doctors all over the globe. We've had, well, I should have written down where people have been presenting from, but we've had a physiotherapist, we've had, Jonathan, help me, please. You're muted. We've had Dr. Jackson.
So we've had Dr. Jackson,
health.
yeah. We've had people from Wales, David, physiotherapist. We had Jason in South Africa and Louise. We've had our own Louis. He presented. We had Edgar touch on pomegranate, and he shared some information with us. We've also had Charlene. We had Chris doing some of the challenges. I think myself at one stage, I did the first challenge. Who else? I think yourself as well, Sharon.
Yes, I have spoken. I just thought people got a bit tired of hearing my voice. So, you know, we've been through the summer together. We've been through the seasons. We've seen the fruits growing, and now the trees are pretty bare, apart from the evergreens. So, yes, there's been a couple of messages in the chat. We have a message from Deirdre. She said, this session, the sessions we've had on here have been very informative and educational and life-changing. Thank you. Perhaps you'd like to unmute and let us know how life-changing it's been, but that's up to
We
you
also
if you
have
wish
one
to.
from Queen as well, Sharon.
Queenie, yes.
Yeah, she said it's been excellent. It's an excellent platform to learn things I didn't know or was aware about. The God for
Thank
you.
God.
Oh, sorry. Thank God for you and yours. Very hard work.
Thank you, Queenie. We thank you for joining us and for encouraging us as we encourage each other. So is there anybody that would like to unmute and just let us know how you've got on with some of the challenges? You may have been able to do some of the challenges. Some of you may still be doing them. Perhaps you've even done some of the recipes that we've shared with you. I know this week, last week we had chickpea and garlic pate, a polenta, and a lemon pie. Whereas I'm still planning to do them, but I did some of the cooking from the cooking show, and we had some really nice food this week from the cooking class, sorry, the Golden Palms cooking class. But we do have more messages coming up in the chat. So what's there? Jackie G. She said it's been very informative. She's learned lots and the testimonies have been great. I second that. The testimonies have been, when we open up for you guys to speak, it's just a God thanking moment. It's just been so amazing. The challenges each week and the cooking show. Oh, well done, Jackie. You did your own hummus this week. Well done. Well done you. I'm sure it tasted good.
I'd just like to say as well, Sharon, that my household has been blessed, you know, doing these programs. I mean, we've learned a lot as well. My lunch box going to work is so much better.
More nutritional.
Yeah, that's right. The different recipes we've been learning, and you know, we've been practicing stuff, and it's been a blessing for us as well as, you know, trying to bless others.
So is there anybody that would like to raise a hand or unmute and just share with us how you've got on with it? I mean, as far as the challenges go, I still continue, in spite of being in cold England, I still continue with those cold showers in the morning. Did it this morning, and God is blessing. God is blessing. The circulation is still going around. Well, obviously, because I wouldn't be here otherwise. But yeah, when I do my cold shower contrast therapy, yes, it's a shock to the system, but it helps to boost my immune system. So I can only be grateful for that. That advice. It's one thing giving the advice, but you have to try and it's one thing hearing the advice, but unless you put it into practice, it's of no benefit. It's just information. And when we set the challenges, we are also setting ourselves a challenge as well, because just because we're admin, you know, from the TTI admin team, it doesn't mean that we're doing everything that is, you know, that we should be doing. Even the messages, the session that we had from Nkubani with the challenge was to do a media fast. Yeah, some people found that kind of hard. Okay. Anybody else wish to say anything? Okay, let's have another look at the chat room. We appreciate your messages, but we would love to hear your voices as well, because nobody can give your testimony like you. I can just read it, but you guys, you know your testimonies.
Someone is, Vivian is saying, Sharon, that the flu bomb has kept us all from the flu. and she thanked TTI.
Thank you, Vivian, for trusting the natural remedies to your family. And all we can say is give God the praise. There's been another message, shared the link with so many friends. This is also from Jackie G. With so many friends, Seventh-day Adventists and non-Seventh-day Adventists, looking forward to each week to getting on Zoom. Oh, and Sharon, love hearing you. Oh, thank you, Jackie. That's very, very gracious of you. Can we have the flu bomb again, please? Yes, of course you can. Of course you can. We'll. Oh, you would you like us to do the demo? It is actually on you. It is on YouTube, isn't it? We did record that week. So if one of the admin can find it, then maybe we can share the link on here. Just the ingredients. Okay, Deirdre. Just the ingredients. Okay, I'll ask my husband to get it on the laptop and we can bring it back up on the screen. So Jonathan, I'm going to just divert to that. And yes, we are on YouTube, so thank you.
Yeah, I've just shared the link for the YouTube if anyone wants to watch on YouTube. I've just put it in the chat.
I'm just gonna get the flu bomb. So keep talking, John. Unless one of our listeners wishes to unmute and tell us the testimony.
It would be nice to hear from Deidre or Tracy if she's on.
Okay, for me, a few of the challenges have really stood out, and until today, I still try to do as many of them as I can. So I've got the contrast shower. That has been really effective for me. Sometimes in the mornings, you just feel so, gosh, you just need something, and then you have that contrast shower, and it's really helped to like really give you a boost and just really, you know, give you that thing to push you through the start of your day.
A pick me up.
Yes. Another thing as well is the salad. The salad that I think it was Charlene who made it. I always struggled with making interesting salads, and that salad, you know, I still make it. Not as often as I'd like to, but it was just really enlightening to know that salads I can actually make, you know, an interesting and tasty salad. So thanks for that, Charlene. And what else? Yes, quite a few other stuff. I've got my book that I just flick through sometimes, and I share them as well. You know, so this platform, this opportunity has been a real blessing, and we can, as Sharon said, we can use the new year, or was it you? You said, and we can just use the new year to give us to restart, or you know, wherever we fall along the way, etc. So thank you. It has been a real blessing.
Thank you very much as well, Deidre, and thank you for your company and all your testimony and your willingness to try the different challenges.
No problem. Thank
Is
you.
Tracy on? I think you're muted, Sharon.
Yes, as I was saying, we've got the one of the recipes. There's several different versions of this flu bomb recipe, but this is the one that we shared here on TTI. This one, as you can see, can we just make it full screen, please, Edgar? Okay, so there we have 1 tablespoon of horseradish, 1 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, 3 cloves of garlic, half a small or quarter of a big onion, a 3/4 cup of honey, 3 limes or lemons, so that's you're going to juice them, and a drop or more of ingestible peppermint oil. If you don't have the peppermint oil, that you're not sure that one's ingestible, you can just get some peppermint leaves and add that to your mixture. Blend it together so it's all nice and sloshy, and something that you can take up on a teaspoon, and then a tablespoon, and then have your tablespoon as and when required. There's no set amount to sort of, let's say, have a teaspoon, because it's food. It's allowing your food to be your medicine. So in terms of side effects, well, your breath may smell a bit oniony, maybe garlicky, or possibly minty. But the main thing is that it's going to be good for you, and it's going to help you with the cold flu season. If you have allergies to any of the rest ingredients, just leave them out. And in the middle, we have the praying hands, because it's God that does the healing. And so we always remember to give him thanks and ask him, as we're taking the medication, that he will intervene. I hope that's been on there for long enough for you to take photos. So thank you, Deirdre. We really appreciate that. So we've got time for maybe one more testimony before we go into the presentation for this week. You're welcome, Deirdre. Sorry, is there another message? Is there any messages on YouTube, Edgar? Okay. Many thanks, super thanks.
Sharon, I was just wondering, you know, the
Lemon
challenge
detox. Ooh. Sorry, yes, Jonathan?
from the challenges last week, have we got any photos?
No, nobody shared their photos this week. Somebody just said that the lemon detox was a real blessing for them. Who knew the humble lemon could do so much internally, you know, and with your vision as well. Can help with so much. In fact, we could do a whole session just on the lemon. We really could. I've done presentations in previous churches in the past where we've just spoken about the lemon, and it was such an excuse the pun, eye-opener. Thank you. Right, so if we don't have anybody else that wishes to share, I'll give you 30 seconds. Sometimes when it's silent, that's when you get the testimonies coming through, and it's such a shame to miss them as well. Okay, can someone just take that message in the chat? Is there a link for the salad? Is it possible to get the salad recipe on?
To the YouTube, actually. Not sorry, to the website.
Sorry?
Could be uploaded to the website.
We can upload it to the website. Thank you, Edgar. Yeah, we do have a website, truetemperateinternational.org. So we can ask our website manager, Q, to do that for us. But if while Dr. Gandhi is doing his presentation, we can bring up something on the laptop, then we can do a screen share at the end as well. Okay, no more hands. Right then, so it's at this point, Jonathan, would you like to introduce Dr. Gandhi?
Yes, that's fine. So this evening we have with us Dr. Gandhi. He's no stranger. This is his third time presenting. And this evening topic, he will be sharing with us how we can walk away from obesity. And without any further ado, I will pass over to Dr. Gandhi. I'm sure he will share any other information that you would like to know about himself. Over to you, Dr. Gandhi.
And any testimonies that he could testify about today, even.
All right, good evening, everyone, and Happy New Year. We thank God that He has allowed us to be alive in 2021. We are all excited to be part of the living in 2021. And we know a lot is going to happen this year. And we have God on our side. He is a great physician. He will take care of us, and He will touch and heal our bodies. This evening, the topic is walk out of obesity. Walk out of obesity. And this is just part one of the presentation. And maybe one of these days when you have a chance again, I'll share part two of the same presentation. So without taking much time, let's dive into the lesson, walk out of obesity. And I'm sure all of you know uh, that obesity is that when you are thinking BMI, it's above 35. In other words, you are more than overweight. You know, when your BMI is somewhere around getting closer to 30, above 30, they say you're overweight. But the moment it is 35 and above, you are obese, meaning that, you know, you are much heavier than what you should be. According to God's wisdom, you know, according to your height, you are supposed to have a specific body weight. The taller you are, the more body weight you can accommodate. And the shorter you are, the less body weight you can accommodate. So this is why you may find that 150 kgs can be a normal weight for someone and can be underweight for someone, can be overweight for someone, depending on your height. So when it says someone is obese, it means you are more than just overweight. And this obesity on its own, it's a chronic disease because it makes life very, very uncomfortable, as we are going to share it this evening. I love this verse from the Bible, and I think I've shared it over and over again. Beloved, I pray that you may prosper in all things and be in health, just as your soul prospers. And I believe that this is God's greatest wish for me. This is God's greatest wish for you. He wants you to prosper. He wants you to be in good health, just as your mind, your spiritual life also prospers. So in a nutshell, this evening, we are going to look at obesity, how you can walk out of obesity. In my lifetime, I've worked with so many people, helping them to lose weight, helping them to walk out of obesity. And through God's providence, we have learned what works and what doesn't and why. And these are some of the things that I'd like to share with you tonight. It's in the evening where I am now. And then I'm going to talk about, in a nutshell, why quick fixes don't work. You know, I know people, they like...
Sorry, it's one moment, Dr. Gandhi. I'm just aware that somebody has accidentally scribbled on the screen so they can edit your, is it an animation?
It's animation, yeah.
Do you know how to, I think we showed you last time, do you remember how to prevent them from doing that?
To do that again.
Let's go to the top.
Remind me again what
it's annotate.
So Shirley, can you just talk him through that one, please?
Yeah, it's annotate. Hi, Dr. Gandhi. It's annotate at the top of your screen. It will say view options. On the top of the actual Zoom, it will say view options at the top.
Okay, let me see. The view options. Okay, I go to more and disable annotate.
Yes, that's it. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, all right. I've done it.
Okay, great.
Okay, all right. Okay, so let's go back to our presentation. You see, I'm also going to talk about...
Still on there, can you delete it?
Oh, how to... Yes, I can see it, but how do you delete it?
Shirley?
Hello, I'm not sure. I think it might have to be the person that drew on it. I'm not sure if Dr. Gandhi can do it unless you press erase.
Erase, you cannot. I can't erase it.
Okay, then I think then I'll just go ahead.
Okay, so it will just ask the viewers if you can please try not to because when you tap on your screen, the function comes up. If you can, please not to edit anything on his screen, on your screen, because whatever you do on your screen, it will come on this, and it's going on YouTube as well. Thank you. Unless you come out of it and then go back in. Okay.
All right, so as we are going to talk about the danger of a high protein diet, and I think you have seen a lot of people, they say, I'm going on a high protein diet. Somebody says, you become as thin as you can if you go on a high protein diet. And they're basically talking about more meat. They're talking about more animal products and more animal fat, more cheese. And we would look into that as well. Why fasting is not the solution. Some people, they think I need to starve in order to walk out of obesity. I need to eat as little as possible. So I'm also going to touch a bit on that as well, why that is not a solution. Then we are also going to look why quality nutrition is more important than quantity, how you eat, how to eat more and weigh less, the wise way of eating, and then we'll conclude with the nuts and bolts of a successful weight loss program, which is intending in helping you to walk out of obesity and walk out of the complications that may come as a result of being obese. Eating is one thing that we all enjoy, like these festive seasons, we are all enjoying eating food, we are all enjoying this and that. And for many people, we started digging our own graves with our own teeth just by the food choices that we make. We end up eating too much of the food that will make us bigger, that will make us gain more weight to the point where we become overweight. Some people, it's not food. Some people, it's just loving to sit down, watching TV, watching games, watching this. So we sit and we sit, we sit, we eat, we eat, we sit, we eat, we sit, to the point where the body doesn't know what to do with the excess glucose that we are eating and the excess body fat, the dietary fat that we're eating, and we start ballooning up, we start getting bigger and bigger. Why quick fixes don't work? It takes time for you to gain weight, to put another 5 kg, another 500 gram. It's a lifestyle that you live for a longer period of time that impacts your health to the point where you become obese or overweight. So trying to find a miracle product in a health shop that you can drink and all those fats will just melt away tomorrow, that is not realistic. That is not how nature works. And if you really can find something that can do a miracle just like that, it must have some healthy consequences. The same applies to a diet or a lifestyle. If you have to find a diet that can make you lose weight just like that, it must have some consequences. So I've seen people going on soup diets. They'll go on a cabbage soup for some weeks. And yes, they do lose some weight, but with some health consequences, because your body needs a balanced diet. You need all the vitamins, you need the minerals, you need the amino acids, you need the fiber, you need everything to sustain you to be in good health, to have a good mental health, for your immune system to function well, for all the metabolism, your hormonal system to function well. All the systems in the body, they need specific nutrients, the omegas that you need to get from the nuts and seeds. You need all of them. So omitting everything and just specialize on carrot soup, on cabbage soup, or whatever soup it is, you're not doing yourself a favor. You may lose weight and lose your health in the process. Some people, they resort to missing meals. I'll be eating once a day. Well, maybe it depends on what you're eating. But really, that's not the way. Remember, all you need is to live a balanced lifestyle, because walking out of obesity is not an event. It is a life that you are going to live from now onward. In other words, you get to a point where you understand how your body works, what can keep you in good health, what type of exercise you need, how much time do you need to rest, and when to rest, when to wake up, and how much water you need to drink, and what time to drink, how many meals you need to eat a day, and what do you need to eat, what do you need to avoid. And when you create this new lifestyle, this becomes a new way of living, and you end up having a brand new end, which is the healthier you, with all that excess body fat melting with time, as you're going to see it later. And then snacking or grazing, there are also dangers. I've seen people, they say, I'm trying to lose weight, so I don't eat meals anymore. I just snack. So they'll go from one snack to another. It's what we call grazing, eating like a cow. So yes, they're eating small little meals, but it's small little meals of maybe processed food, junk food, or some of them may even snack on what may be thought to be good food. But in some cases, it's not also a well-balanced diet. And eating more often can also mess up your metabolism as well. So what should you do? It's easy. All you need is to change your lifestyle. And this is what I have found it work for the past 15 years. I've been working with people, helping them to lose weight, helping them to walk out of obesity, and keeping their body fat out for good. And this can only work if you make it a lifestyle. And when you make it a lifestyle, make it delicious. So now I'm talking from the food point of view. Whatever you have now to eat from now on, it has to be nice and delicious. You are not on a diet. You are not looking forward to a day when you go back to your normal diet. You have launched a new lifestyle, a new way of eating, and make it lovely. Learn the recipes of how to make that cashew cake, that almond smoothie, that delicious avocado pudding, learn to make those mouth-watering, delicious meals that will entertain your tongue, make you feel good, and as a side effect, you see your excess body fat melting away. You know what? That's how it should happen. And then when it comes to exercise, it's the same story. Find the kind of physical exercise that will make you happy. I like productive exercise, working in the garden, sweating a bit while I'm doing something, producing something that I'll eat tomorrow, other than just chasing the wind in the street, running and jogging, and I don't benefit anything. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that if that's the only thing that you can do, but I love that productive exercise, something that is profitable, something that will give returns as I burn those calories. I don't want them to burn for free. I want them to burn for something. So change your lifestyle. It is the way to go. And of course, there are also dangers of going on to these popular high protein diets. I've heard a lot of them banting Atkins diet. And I've seen people with my own eyes who have tried them. In fact, I've consulted people, patients who actually got sick from one of these chronic lifestyle diseases just because they were very faithful in these high protein meat and the animal fat products, which they say it helps you to lose weight. While it is true that in time of crisis, when you are denying yourself of carbohydrates, the body has a way of burning, converting the body fat that you have and trying to convert it into energy, making you to look like you have lost weight. But then you also put yourself in a crisis where your body has to convert protein into glucose because you are not eating carbohydrates. And that is a very expensive way, as your body will end up producing a lot of uric acid in the process. And most of you are aware that excessive uric acid is a recipe for damaging your DNA inside your cells, which can lead to any type of cancer. So that is actually the danger of eating excessive high protein diet. And again, your body, your liver may also make excessive cholesterol, which may lead to other conditions like heart disease. And of course, you look good, but you may lose your health. And the uric acid can even contribute to osteoarthritis, to rheumatism, and to other deadly conditions in the body. Even this high protein diet doesn't have fiber, meaning that it may lead to chronic constipation, which may increase your risk of being a victim of hemorrhoids, or what we call paros, or you can also add in a worst scenario, a victim of chronic cancer. Not a good idea, a recipe for chronic constipation. So while you look good, yes, you lose weight, you can fit to size 0, but at the expense of your own health. So yes, you end up having bad breath, as you know, you end up having indigestion problems. You have lots of these animal products, high fat diets, the cheese rotting in your stomach, not the best way of making friends. You may also have a running tummy. You may end up being dehydrated. The body is trying to excrete this excess uric acid through urinary system, and you eventually, because you are overworking your kidneys as they are trying to excrete this extra uric acid, you may eventually damage your kidneys and find yourself on a dialysis machine. So not worth the price. If all you want is to lose excess body fat, to walk out of obesity, there are beautiful ways of doing it, delicious ways of doing it without committing suicide in the process. So yes, those are some of the things that we have just mentioned: increase cancer, heart disease, and you really can kill yourself in the process. And some resort of fasting. When you say fasting, it means you are eating less than 2 meals a day, because 2 meals a day is the minimum normal meals one can eat if you're not fasting for spiritual reasons or for health reasons. And we don't expect anyone who is health conscious to eat more than a third meal. But if you say, okay, I'll be only eating in the evening, and I've heard a lot of ladies say, I don't eat breakfast, I don't eat lunch, I just eat in the evening because I'm trying to lose weight. It may sound good, but and some of them, they wonder why they're not losing anything, because what you're doing now, you're putting yourself in a crisis. You are taking no glucose in the morning, not even at lunchtime, just drinking water. And then in the evening, you want to revenge, you want to eat more, to compensate everything that you have missed during daytime. And you're eating these meals at the time when you're going to bed, when your body has no opportunity to burn those calories, to burn that glucose, and the whole system is shutting down because you're going to bed. And what happens? What will the body do with this glucose that you eat in the evening? It will simply convert it into body fat. Not a good idea. What you need is to eat proper meals, but eat the right things. And of course, you can always have spiritual fasting from time to time. I do, and many of you do. Nothing wrong with that. But what I'm talking about here is the fasting that people do for a longer period of time because they are battling or trying to lose weight. That's not the solution. Prolonged fasting can cause dizziness, headaches, muscles, and it means you have overdone it to the point of how your body can endure. And we all can endure fasting differently. Some can fast for only 1 day, some for 3 days, some for 5 days. But anything more than that may not be safer for everyone. And it can lead to anemia, as well as some people, they deprive themselves of other green veggies, because they have to focus on this cheese diet, for this high protein diet. So they end up missing some of the minerals that helps us to have healthy blood and good blood, or boost your blood volume. And for sure, it can always weaken your immune system if you are fasting for too long. And of course, it can also cause mineral and vitamin deficiency if all you're drinking is water. And quality of what you eat is actually more important. Nature is the best physician, because as humans, we have learned over the years, we cannot improve on God. When God created the grain, he created the whole grain with the fiber, with the vitamin E, the gem that is rich in vitamin E, and some healthy fats that dissolve the cholesterol in the body. You also get the minerals and the vitamins in the whole grain, like your brown rice, your oatmeal, your millet, your sorghum, your maize. If you take it as it comes from nature, it is not just good for preventing diabetes, good for preventing heart disease, good for preventing constipation. It is also excellent in helping you to walk out of obesity. So as you wake up every morning, you drink your 2 glasses of warm water and you go for a walk. Brisk walking, meaning that you are walking very fast, whether you go and work in the garden, whatever you choose as your morning exercise, and you haven't eaten anything early in the morning, the body will start converting that excess body fat back into glucose and you burn it. This is why doing exercise early in the morning before you eat anything, it is more beneficial if you're trying to lose excess body fat than doing the same exercise in the evening, because you may be burning the food that you just had for lunch. So when your glucose level is at the lowest in the morning, that is the best time to assist in nature, the best physician to help you lose the excess body fat. And then you need a balanced meal while losing weight. How do you make it balanced? Make sure you're having your complex carbohydrates, meaning that the carbohydrates which are not refined, your brown rice, oatmeal, sorghum, quinoa, whatever you love it, it's a choice. And then also make sure you balance them up with the legumes, the chickpeas, uh, the beans, the lentils, all types of legumes. The combination of whole grains and legumes gives you all the 8 essential amino acids, meaning that you are having the same quality of protein that you get from the chicken, from the beef, even though you may be on 100% plant-based. And because both of them, the legumes and the whole grains, are rich, very rich in fiber, they stabilize your blood sugar, making it easier for you not to eat between meals, meaning that you don't feel hungry, 10 o'clock when you just had breakfast at 7 o'clock. Not only that, they also helps you to eliminate excess uh, body cholesterol, body fat through the digestive system. This is the fat that comes through the bile from your liver to digest some of your food in your part of the small intestine. The fiber will absorb this fat to make it part of the feces, and you end up excreting it, eliminating it in the toilet. And again, you also need the good fat. You need the good fats in addition to the complex carbohydrates. The good fats are those that come from plants, especially the flaxseed, the chia seed, the sunflower seeds, and there's some nuts like the almonds, the cashew nuts. You also get these good fats. And when you get this straight from the seeds, you also get with the lignans, with the fibers, which helps also to eliminate from your body excess body fat. So as you eat, as you walk, you actually find yourself shedding more excess body fat. There's a delicious way of eating seeds. You don't eat it like the birds do. You can make sunflower breakfast pudding. You can make a flaxseed and chia seed smoothie, mixing it with some almond, some coconut milk, maybe the pineapple fruit and some sour fruit that are very rich in vitamin C. You may also, if you have access to fruits like tamarind, the baobab, the grapefruit, the one that looks like the orange, all those things can help to do wonders to melt the excess body cholesterol as you rest well, as you drink lots of water between meals, and as you do your exercise. And at the same time, having hope, blessed hope in your mind, avoiding stress, avoiding worries, which may also mess up your hormonal system, something that can make it difficult for you to lose body weight. And you need the greens, of course. Yes, you need to avoid the processed fake soups from the supermarket where there's mushroom flavor, there's a spinach flavor, there's this flavor. You don't need flavors, you need the real food. So if you want to make a soup, chop your spinach, cook your lentils, make soup from real food, real mushroom, real lentils, and smell the real smells that comes out of nature, which are rich in those nutrients that you need, the magnesium, the calcium, the manganese, all these minerals that your liver will need to detoxify the excess. And of course, as I've said, you need the legumes and avoid as much as you can. Learn to live without animal products. Learn to live without the animal food as you learn to balance and make the plant-based more delicious and more practical and more realistic according to the food that is available where you are. Then you need to learn simple ways of cooking, avoiding braising or barbecue, which is one of the getting toxins into your body. If you're trying to barbecue something on open fire, you get carbon monoxide through the smoke. And when it's mixed with the fresh, you make the benzopyrene, the same poison that you get from cigarettes. Not a good idea when you're trying to gain health. And remember, the whole thing is about living a healthy lifestyle. And of course, the fiber and the portion sizes, people, they say, okay, how much brown rice should I eat? How much beans? How much of the healthy bread should I eat? One thing that I've learned, when you sit on the table and you're eating a high fiber, whole grain, legume, veggies kind of a diet, here is the secret. Eat your food slowly, chew it properly, and the fiber in the food will tell you when you have enough. So one of the functions of fiber is to control the food portions. That's why it's very easy to eat 1 kg, a full chicken, but it's not easy to eat a full pot of beans. You can tell your children, here is a pot of beans, eat as much as you want, you still find the beans in the pot. But if you give them a pot full of meat and you tell them eat as much beef as you want, you find the pot, not the beef in the pot. They'll be able to eat everything because the food that has no fiber, it is difficult for you to know that you have eaten enough. You can barbecue meat the whole night and eat. You never do that with beans. So fiber tells you when you have eaten enough. This is why you must not go crazy about food portions. Should I eat 1/4 cup of this or 2 tablespoons of this? Of course, when it comes to nuts, we know that you should not go nuts with nuts. You need nuts, yes, but you need them in smaller portions, just a handful. Meaning that if you put the Brazilian nuts, the walnuts, the cashew nuts in your hand, if you cover up your hand, you should not be able to see the nuts. Not 500 grams of cashew nuts as you're driving to the nearest city. By the time you get there, you have the packet. All the nuts are gone. That's not the way we should eat the nuts. Then the one of beans, I have been amazed every time I'm working with the clients. The moment we remove animal products and we put them on beans, the chickpeas, the lentils, and everything, we found that the first fat to melt away is the one surrounding the waste. And I discovered that the fiber in the legumes is actually a wonder. When it comes to walking out of obesity, you can't avoid it. You just need to find ways to make it delicious. People come up with all kinds of stories. So I do have gas when I eat beans, but this is the thing. Soak your beans overnight in water. Through osmosis, the gas between the skin of the bean and the bean itself will be sucked out. And then you can rinse them with fresh water and cook them the next day. You enjoy the beans, and that's so the issue with me. Now I can eat beans when they're eaten, cooked in that manner. Then of course the nuts and seeds, you can't skip them if you want to walk out of obesity. I've already mentioned to you, some of the good nuts out there and some of the good seeds out there that have got omega-3, omega-6, omega-9, lignans, and some soluble fiber that will help to melt away the excess body fat that you have. Remember, your body uses fat to dissolve fat, not water. That's why I did the good fats, the healthy fats from the seeds. And remember, when you're using your seeds, you don't grind them for the whole month, because once you crush the seed, you expose them to oxidation and they lose their medicinal power. So this is why if you have to crush your seeds, crush them the same time you want to use them for breakfast, for smoothies, for desserts. The very, very same time you want to use, that's the time you can crush. You don't crush them in advance. You spoil them, they oxidize, and they may just contribute to toxicity in your body. And of course, enjoy the whole grains. I remember the first time I was introduced to brown rice, I was like, this is not the way I should endure my meals. But when I learned that, you can add some garlic powder to brown rice, some onion powder, some ginger, some peas, some lentils, you can make biryani. Today, eating brown rice, it's a joy, it's not a crisis. And there's sometimes you cannot always have brown rice with you. There are times when you find yourself eating the white rice, but it must never be a habit. It must never be a lifestyle, especially if you're trying to walk out of obesity. Make sure you go brown, get the whole wheat flour, then bake your own bread, your own orange muffin, your own a cashew nut cake, and whatever it is, the pumpkin bread, whatever you may find it exciting, but always make sure you are eating the whole grain the way God created it. That's the one that God said it is good. And of course, veggies, especially the Brussels sprouts, the curry, the cabbage, the broccoli, the cauliflower. Some of you may be in parts of the world where you also have access to cassava leaves, pumpkin leaves, sweet potato leaves. All these indigenous vegetables, they're very rich in magnesium, calcium, potassium, manganese, all the minerals that we need, including iron. The minerals that we need to burn the fat in our body. And the secret is balance. Eat a balanced diet. A diet that will give you the vitamins. So eat those sour fruits, the grapefruit, the tamarind, the kiwi, the lemons, the oranges. These are fruits that are very rich in vitamin C and the phytochemicals. And of course, make sure you have the nuts and seeds, get your protein from them, as well as the whole grains and the legumes, and don't be apologetic about the veggies. And if you can get some raw veggies, far much the better. Balancing is the key. And of course, don't skip your breakfast. This is the keys for wise eating. That means if you can survive on 2 meals a day, then the best meal to skip is supper, not breakfast. Because once you skip breakfast, you mess up your metabolism and you encourage the body to start storing more fat. So eat your breakfast. 2 meals a day are better than 3. The majority of people that have helped working out of obesity within a period of 3-4 months or so, where they go back to their normal weight, one of the things they have done right is to eat 2 meals a day. So they'll have a breakfast like 9 a.m. in the morning and 3 p.m. And these days of stay at home, work from home, lockdowns, these kind of lifestyles are becoming more realistic and more practical as compared to the days when we were stuck in the job workplaces where you have to be there at a certain time, get stuck in traffic and trying to rush back home, and or maybe to run this one, that way, trying to get the quickest lunch you can get at the nearest vending machine. So, oh yes, the lockdown is not a good thing, but at least you can live a healthy lifestyle if you choose to. Your evening meal, the smallest meal, if you have it at all, it has to be the smallest meal of the day. And once you learn that, you wonder why you never did it before. And of course, don't eat too late at night, like 9 p.m. when you're just waiting to go to bed. The body will have no opportunity even to, process this food completely before you sleep. And because you are resting, the body will convert much of the food you have eaten into fat. Avoid eating between meals. Drink your lemon water between meals, your cucumber water between meals, and if you feel like eating something, drink water, and then eat the whole grain, whole legumes, and unprocessed veggies during meal times. Don't mix the fruits and vegetables at the same time. That's why it is best to have your fruit salad during breakfast and your veggies maybe at lunch to avoid putrefaction. And of course, by the time you go to bed, your stomach must be almost empty. So we need to make healthier choices, healthier choices, and those healthier choices make them taste delicious. And I love that last month we had this challenge of cooking. This is where the secret is. If you don't know what to do with broccoli, if you think eating broccoli is, a little time of trouble, all you need is to steam it and enjoy it. You will not enjoy the lifestyle. But if you can make some cashew nut, cream and add it to your broccoli and make it an amazing dish, you wonder why I never did it before. It has to be nice. It has to be delicious. It has to be attractive to the rest of the family members. And when we make these healthier choices, we are on our way to walk out of obesity. So yes, choose nuts instead of chocolate, instead of sweets and biscuits, and let them be part of your meals, not as a snack, but rather part of the meal that you are having from day to day. So yes, it is time to make wise choices. Your kitchen should be stocked with a wider variety of legumes. You cannot eat what you don't have. So if you are to eat healthy, stock healthy food in your body. Nuts and bolts of working out of obesity. And this is how I have seen it working with most of my clients I've worked with. For the first thing, go plant-based, whole foods, cut off animal products. You never go wrong when you make that choice. And then you need to work out your fat, don't run. I've found people, they say, I'm going to run out of this fat, run out of this fat. But you see, when you are running, that's anaerobic exercise because you're not breathing properly. So because you're not taking enough oxygen, the body uses a glycogen from the liver as a source of energy when you run. But when you walk and you're walking fast, you are breathing normally, you are taking deep breaths, you are taking in a lot of oxygen, and the oxygen helps you to metabolize or burn the fat as a source of energy. So don't go jogging, go for nature walk. You walk out your fat, you don't run out of it. And then the other thing is, go to bed early and wake up early. This is a powerful principle. The body's metabolism, which helps to heal the body and restore the system, burning the excess of this and detoxifying it. The body does that job much better the hours before midnight when you are sleeping. So we need to go to bed together with the chickens, and wake up early in the morning together with the chickens. And this is how you assist the body metabolism to help you burn the excess body fat. Eat only at meal times, avoid snacking as much as you can. And whether you have fruits, whatever it is that are healthier, let them be part of your meal, not as a snack. Drink water in between. You can drink lemon water, or you can even drink something like hibiscus tea, some herbal teas between meals, something that can also boost your health in general. Lots of water, lemon water even better if you have lemons. Stress less and trust in God. We are living in very difficult times of the world. The world is busy turning every day. Every day is leading us to the second coming of Jesus. there is going to be a lot that is going to happen. In some of them, they're going to terrify us. But we need to believe in the God, our God, and we will prosper. Trust in God, trust in the prophecies, trust in his promises, trust in his leading, and know that, our God is able. He will lead us to the very end, especially if we follow his marching orders. Sometimes we may suffer because we are neglecting God's marching orders. And believe me, there are a lot of side effects that you may benefit as you allow yourself to walk out of obesity. You may have a strong immune system, good memory, forever young, you have a healthy life, less stress. And of course, the more good news is that you can even have seen people that I've worked with in the past. As we help them to walk out of obesity, they also kiss arthritis goodbye. I have seen some of my patients in the past, as I helped them to walk out of obesity, they actually said no to diabetes because their sugar was also caused by the metabolism problem because of being obese and not exercising and not eating healthier. And I have also seen over the years, people dodging high blood pressure medication simply because they embarked into a healthy lifestyle where they lost all the excess body fat, for eventually they managed to see their belt in their waist, and lo and behold, even the hypertension, which was triggered by obesity, also was gone. So you can also avoid cancer by God's grace if you allow yourself to lose those excess body fat, gain back into your normal body shape, and you do it the healthy way by putting the good things in and cutting off the bad things. Yes, you can enjoy a healthy life at any age, regardless of your age. I remember meeting a gentleman who was 72 years old. When I chatted with him, he wanted to go for operation and lose that excess body fat. I saw him losing his pot belly. I saw him losing arthritis. I saw him losing diabetes. I saw him losing high blood pressure. And for the first time in his life after 24 years, he could not believe he could wake up in the morning without the need to remember medication. I saw the power of God when we are faithful to his counsel, when we are faithful to God's guidance, when we are faithful and committed to keep our bodies in good health, committed to follow the counsel from the Bible, to take care of the body temple. God has a way of doing wonders and to restore even our lost health. What we need is not a diet, but we need a new start, a new beginning, a new lifestyle. When you start this new lifestyle, you can have a brand new end. I love this text from the Bible, Philippians chapter 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And yes, there's nothing is impossible if we trust in God. You can do what is right at the right time, and God can carry you through. In our next session, I'm going to talk about spiritual obesity. Now, I don't know when will that be, but this will be part two of this topic is spiritual obesity. But Joshua waxed fat and kicked. Thou art waxen fat, thou art grown thick, thou art covered with fatness. Then he forsook God, God which made him, and lightly esteemed the rock of his salvation. This will be part two of our presentation tonight, spiritual obesity, and how can you walk out of spiritual obesity. I've written a book titled Walk Out of Obesity. You can get a copy for yourself any day during the week using the link that you see on the screen. And yes, I believe this is the year that we need to walk out of spiritual obesity. And of course, some of us may also need to walk out of physical obesity. And of course, walking out of physical obesity will help you to regain good health. But walking out of spiritual obesity may help you to gain eternal life. May the good Lord keep you. May God watch over you. May God bless you in 2021 as you work out your salvation with trembling and fear, as you take a step to walk out of physical and spiritual obesity. May you be blessed, and may you be, a good example, even to your neighbors, to your friends, and to your family, as you take another step in living a healthy lifestyle in 2021. Thank you for your attention, and may God bless you. Amen.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Can I just invite you to take a screenshot of the screen if you wish, and then we'll ask Dr. Gandhi to stop the screen share. Okay. Yes, so walking out of obesity. Thank you so much for that presentation, Dr. Gandhi. I'm sure there's a lot of people that have been asking questions. And before we take any more questions, or before we take any questions, rather, I should say, just to remind you all, listeners, that we do have the disclaimer where we are saying that if you are under any general practitioner and you want to change your lifestyle, inform them of what you're doing. We're not saying just jump off your medication or anything like that. You know, we have to be sensible about the advice that we give. And so we're saying seek advice from your general practitioner, and we encourage you to enter into this new start for the new year. So thank you once again. I did see a hand earlier, and I did mention the name of the individual. So there's two hands at the moment. We have Ilona and Linda, and I'm holding my lemon. Oops, you can't see me, can you? Sorry. And I'm holding my lemon to remind me of some other topics that have come up in the chat. So Ilona, we can invite you, if that's okay, Dr. Gandhi. There may be some questions specific to you. So Ilona, if you'd like to unmute, you can ask your question. Are you still with us? Still on here, Ilona? Okay, as we're waiting, we can ask Linda. Linda, go ahead and unmute and let us have your question. Ilona, you've lowered your hands. Linda, do you have a question? Unless you're right. Okay, we're having trouble unmuting. Sorry. Can those that are at the control end of the
Yes, she may go ahead.
Okay, there you go, Linda.
Hi, good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for the presentation. Just a quick question. I've been reading a book that speaks about food combinations. So I wanted to ask Dr. Gandhi if that has got any effect when it comes to obesity, when it comes to weight loss and changing lifestyle. Yeah, so just wanted to know, does food combination have any effect? If so, how far does it go?
Well, I've heard a lot of food, and I've also maybe come across a number of food combinations. I may not know exactly which one you're referring to. I've heard about the blood group diet and different, there are actually so many of them out there. I don't know if you don't mind sharing maybe an example of one of the food combinations you have come across in that book.
For instance, the author was saying that you can't in the same plate have a starch and a protein, because both of those combined together will take a longer time to digest. She recommends that you have a protein and a neutral vegetable and maybe some salad to go with it. And then if you're gonna have a starch, then have a starch and a salad and any other neutral vegetable. Avoid mixing a starch and a protein. She also goes further into fruits and says, avoid mixing particular fruits. I think there's subacid, there's sweet, and there's acidic. I'm not so sure which one's which, but there's, I think, if not acid and sweet, she says don't mix an acidic fruit with a sweet fruit, you know, stuff like that. It's still fairly new. I just read it off of a book some 2 weeks ago. So yeah, it kind of caught my attention. That's why I'm asking.
Okay, that's a very good question. You see, there's a lot of information around those kind of suggestions of what you should eat with what you should eat with what. But what you need to understand is that when it comes to eating a healthful, living a healthful lifestyle, going into the plant-based diet the healthy way, you know, you're looking at eating whole foods. Now, if you're eating whole foods, whether it's a whole grain, as in whole wheat, for example, you have protein in whole wheat, you have fiber in whole wheat, you have also starch in whole wheat. So you are actually having everything in that particular food. But if you're eating refined food, it's a different story altogether. So for example, if I'm having white bread and bacon, or you know, scrambled eggs and things like that, that's a different story for sure. Maybe you're having a concentrated protein and a starch. But the healthy way of eating, there's no way you're going to find food which is 100% protein and 100% carbohydrates, because even the lentils, it's a source of protein, but you also get carbohydrates there. You also get the vitamins there, you get the minerals there, you get the fiber there. But when the same particular food is processed and refined, it's a different story altogether. So the refined food, you can have something which is just a protein isolate, which is nothing but protein. And the animal food, they are mainly protein with the traces of carbohydrates. But if we are going for whole food, then you don't have to worry about those food combinations. What you should mind is that you are eating a well-balanced diet and you are eating everything in a good proportion. So in principle, if you have nuts, seeds, fruits, whole grains and legumes, you know, in principle, especially for someone who's trying to lose weight, you eat more of the legumes and a little bit less of the complex carbohydrates. And of course, you need a generous amount of the greens, your broccolis and the vegetables and the carrots, if you're eating vegetables. And when you're having fruits, yes. And of course, you need very little nuts and seeds, but you need them regularly. So those are actually the portion sizes, but remember, you'll be getting everything in all these foods when you're going plant-based. So don't worry about this and that.
Thank you, Linda. And thank you, Dr. Gandhi. Does that answer your question, Linda?
Oh, it did, because I was a bit stressed by the fact that when you read up on what seeds contain or what lentils contain, you kind of can't really separate and say this has got protein only and then this has got that and that. So yeah, it does. It clarifies. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you. Now, Dr. Gandhi, we're not able to see you at the moment. I'm not sure, you may have not realized your camera's not switched on, but that's okay. There could be a reason for that. So there have been a few questions regarding the walking out as opposed to running. So people are a little bit confused about the walking versus the running. I know you went through that in your presentation, but for those that missed the point, could you just go over that again? And somebody also mentioned about mixing fruit and veg. Dr. Gandhi did speak about that. He did say it's not a good idea to mix your fruit and vegetables, because that can lead to rotting of the food in the stomachs, because you've got the wrong pH for the 2 different food groups. And so he did say one suggestion could be to have your fruit salad in the morning and then have your vegetable salad for your second meal. But if you could just go over a little bit more about the running versus the walking out of obesity, I'm sure that would answer a few people's questions, please, Dr. Gandhi.
Okay, that's a very good point. Maybe I did go through it very quickly. We have heard these 2 words, aerobic and anaerobic. These are not English as such, they're actually Greek words. Aerobic means with oxygen, anaerobic means without oxygen. So when you say I'm going for aerobics, what you are trying to say that you are going to do the exercise that will help you to inhale more oxygen. You know, so when someone is playing soccer, that's mostly anaerobic, because you have to run a lot, no time to breathe. You breathe when it's break time, normally. So you may be breathing, but it's like, you know, you're not really taking enough oxygen inside the body. Now, for you to burn fat, you need water and you need oxygen. That's why if you're just on a healthy, high fiber diet, but you're not drinking your 8 glasses of water, you are going to struggle to lose weight, because the body uses water. It also, the cells actually, they use water. They also use the oxygen to make ATP, the energy that you need in order to burn the body fat. So the exercise that is called aerobic, or with oxygen, it's any exercise that when you're doing, you're also able to talk at the same time. That means you are able to breathe normally. So if I am walking and I'm walking very fast, I should be able to sing. I should be able to talk if I'm walking with someone. It means I'm breathing normally. The moment you are doing something, you're jumping up and down and you can hardly talk. You know, if you have to talk, then you have to stop first the exercise and talk. Then that is anaerobic. You are using reserved energy from your body, glucogen, which you reserved in your muscles and mostly in your liver. So when you're doing that, it means you are not burning the body fat. You are just using the excess glucose that the body keeps to use in time of emergency. So this is why we say when it comes to obesity, you walk out of it, you don't run out of it, because you want the oxygen. You don't want it to be on anaerobic. You want to be on aerobic exercise. I have met a lot of people who say I do exercise, but I don't understand why I'm not losing weight. Then you ask them, what do you do? I run on a treadmill at my home on the veranda. So the advice is always simple: to go back to the same treadmill on your veranda, but don't run just to walk. And when they start walking, they see themselves losing grams every week. So yes, you need to walk out, don't run out. Thank you.
Dr. Gandhi, someone is asking, would you be able to recommend, I think it's Candy, a high fertility diet for a woman struggling to conceive?
I think that can be done in a consultation discussion, if he doesn't mind, because it is much more to do with the balancing hormones. One may need to know a bit of her medical history. One may need to know a bit of some of the treatments she has done before, some life experiences that can also lead to what could be appropriate in balancing the hormones natural and maybe increasing the chances of conceiving.
Thank you for that. So what we would need is a contact detail if you're happy to take any private consultations. Then if you could drop that in the chat, unless you've got it on a screen and you wish to do a screen share. Okay.
If I can put it there.
Thank you so much. Now, there was also a question about are the presentations going to be available on the WhatsApp groups? We do have, just to remind you, thank you, Dr. Gandhi, the contact numbers there. We do have these presentations live on YouTube. So hi, YouTube audience. We have a good attendance there. So thank you for joining us on YouTube. And if you've missed anything or you wish to go back and look at the slides again, you just need to go onto YouTube, type in True Temperance International, and you'll see a list of you'll see a number of our different presentations from going back some time over the months. So you can watch this one again if you just look out for this one, Walking Out of Obesity. And I do love Dr. Gandhi's style of presentation. I mean, you know, you make some humorous comments and but you present it in a way that you just think, hello, you know, why didn't I know that? So we love your presentation style. There's been some more messages, people thanking you. More difference between running and walking. Great information presentation to kickstart my year. Thanks for the encouragement on eating sensibly. That's from Queenie. From Mrs. Conjaweo. Thanks so much, Dr. Gandhi. A great presentation indeed. Now, somebody was asking what country you are you in? Maybe they want to come and do a visit. I'm not sure.
It's Malawi.
Probably it's all the nice food you keep talking about, doing different things with the cashew nuts, and they want to come around.
We do have another question, Sharon.
Yes, Rebecca, you've had your hand up for a while, so yes, we'll acknowledge your hand, Rebecca.
Hello, Doc. Thanks very much for the presentation. Now, my question is more of the sequencing of the food. I was listening to one of the presenters. She's in the US and she's Adventist and she's a biochemist. And she taught that what we've been having for our dinner should be our breakfast. So we switched from having our food around 5 to having it at 8, and then have what was normally our breakfast to have it at 3. I cannot say that is helped because we've seen a few kilos pile on. So I really don't know whether it's worked or not. I don't know what your advice would be.
Well, if you followed this evening presentation, I was mentioning that the quality is more important than the quantity. And if you look at the quality, you see most people when they're eating breakfast food, it's actually the high glucose food that we usually eat in the morning, you know, the bread and the potatoes and things like that. Now, if you're going to eat that later in the day, when the day is about to expire, you know, and you don't have time to burn those high glucose foods, for sure you're going to get the opposite. You end up gaining more weight instead of losing it. So you need high energy food in the morning, also depending on what you do. And you need less energy food in the afternoon, as we call it, low glucosamic in load food, or food that gives you less energy in a simple language. And in the morning, it's depending on what you do. If you're like me, who is you know, working in the garden and you do burn more calories, you may need to have some, you know, good fruit salad, you know, thing that will give you more glucose. But the quality is always the key. If your life is more sedentary, eat more of the whole grains, more of the legumes, and more of the nuts and seeds. That will help you to have less glucose that you need to burn, and at the same time giving you more fiber that you need to eliminate more body fat. So the quality is the key.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for that. And I'm just going to go back a little bit. When you was talking about the walking versus running, there is a place for your anaerobic exercise, but it depends on what your requirement is. So obviously, if you want to go for cardiovascular benefit and, you know, for losing weight, then yes, definitely that's going to be the way to go for the aerobic activity, aerobic exercise. Whereas if you're looking for muscle strength, then you'll get that benefit more if you're doing your, I've got to get it right, your anaerobic. So there's the different types of exercise that you're going to be doing. But specifically on this topic with regards to obesity, and also if you're looking at cardiovascular strength, you're looking at anaerobic, which is the walking, the breathing, breathing and being able to talk and possibly sing as you're exercising, you know, whether you're cycling, you're not talking about the sprint cycle, but more the continuous longevity type of cycling. So whatever exercise it is that works for you, whether it's, I mean, you can swim at a leisurely pace. So I'm not going to expect you to talk and swim at the same time, but you know, there's that pace of swimming as opposed to a sprint swim, if you can call it a sprint swim. But yeah, depending on what you enjoy, find something that you enjoy. It could be exercising in the garden, doing a bit of digging, growing, cultivating, and you're not running out of breath when you're doing that because it has to take a long time while you're doing that. But yes, walking, swimming, cycling, gardening, that kind of stuff, even housework.
So we've got a couple more questions, Sharon. There's one from Vanessa. She's asking, what's the doctor view on intermittent fasting? And then there's another one from Sherby. She's saying, well, today's presentation was very interesting. May I get some thoughts on sodium level?
Hello.
Yes, Dr. Gandhi, we can hear you.
Yeah, I think if we are talking it in connection with tonight's lesson of working out of obesity, what we need, as I've already suggested at the very beginning of the topic, what you need is a new lifestyle, not just something that you do it for a short period of time, especially if the idea is to be in good health. The idea is to promote healthful living. So you need to launch out a new thing. So the best way of fasting for weight loss is what maybe has been said over and over again, that rather go for 2 meals a day, a good breakfast and a good lunch, and skip supper, and do that as a lifestyle. Because when you do that, you're actually fasting for 16 hours every 24 hours. So if you have a breakfast and you have your 9 o'clock and you have your lunch at 3, you are actually fasting for 16 hours every 24 hours. And it's easy to do that as a lifestyle other than as an event. Because if you do something as an event, when you change and you go back to a certain way of living, then the metabolism is confused again. Yes, there are those times when you cannot stick to the lifestyle. You know, sometimes you're traveling, you're attending a funeral, you are at this place and that place. But the normal lifestyle has to be something that is consistent, something that your body gets used to it and it says, this is how I live. This is how I eat, this is how I rest, this is how I fast. Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry, I'm just messaging on the chat. So do we see any more questions that we might not have addressed that we can address, Jonathan? there's something about SOS diet, salt, oil, and sugar. So somebody's asking, what's your take on avoiding salt, oil, and sugar in the diet, doctor?
I've never heard about that. I mean, I'm trying to understand the question. Is the person trying to say eating only salt, oil, and sugar, or?
No, I think they mean avoiding. Avoiding. I mean, obviously the body needs a certain amount of oil and fat. It needs a certain amount of glucose, and it needs a certain amount of salt. Maybe they're thinking not avoiding the natural forms, but as an addition, you know, like condiments. So some people would add salt to their food, or.
Okay, that's a very good question. The truth is, as Sharon has already said, you need a little bit of salt. Of course, there may be better choices of the salt. Like if you can get the Himalayan salt, the pink salt, we know it's got more minerals than just one mineral. But that does not mean if you can't have access to. There's some background noise that is coming. It does not mean that if you can't have access to the pink Himalayan salt, then you can't use a little bit of the other salt. The moderation is key when it comes to the use of salt. You need a little bit of it because much of the food that we eat already contains some sodium anyway. Our vegetables, our grains, they have some natural sodium that comes in it as a mineral. This is why we need it just a little bit. And when it comes to oil, the principle is you need to select the healthy fats. So your avocados, your coconut, your olives, you know, your nuts, your seeds, yeah, they all have healthy fats. So you need them, but in small, again, in moderation. So when it comes to oils, it's about a question of choosing the healthy ones and leaving the other ones. And when it comes to sugar, it's the same story. Find a better way of sweetening your food. I know there are people who don't take any sugar, but they eat a lot of refined carbohydrates. But refined carbohydrates, after digestion, they become sugar anyway. So you may end up avoiding the commercial sugar, but you're eating too much of the refined carbohydrates and still have a high glucose problem. But if we are using sweeteners, we always need to focus on the healthier option. Again, the principle is the same. If one is using the molasses brown sugar, it has to be in moderation. We know other healthier sweeteners like honey are much better if you have access to them. I know people in the rural areas who make their own sugar straight from sugarcane just by pounding the sugarcane, soaking it in water, and then you have something which is not processed, something without chemicals. You know, I've learned also some amazing ways of using dried fruits to sweeten foods. So the more we get our sweeteners from the whole foods, the better. And the less we use the processed one, the better. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Gandhi. Thank you, Thandi, for your comments. Somebody, I've seen your hand, Audrey. Somebody said, what foods could we use for reducing inflammation? I'm aware of turmeric is a very good addition that we can include in our cooking, and possibly even in your smoothies, but not too much because it won't taste very nice. But yeah, it's not just about the taste. But yeah, turmeric is a good addition that you can use for inflammation. Before we take your question, Audrey, I'm just going to ask Dr. Gandhi if he can suggest any other food groups that's good for reducing inflammation.
It's mostly also food that is rich in omega-3s like the chia seeds, the flax seeds. What other seeds are there that are rich in the omega-3? These are the things that are actually known to reduce inflammation. And of course, one has to avoid animal products and also wheat products as well.
Thank you so much. And somebody did say that the turmeric could stay in the teeth. I mean, maybe my teeth are a little yellow. I don't know. I do have quite a bit of turmeric, but
I would suggest that perhaps you could take it in a capsule. That way you take it in the tablet form, so you don't, it don't stain your teeth.
Okay, thank you very much, Jonathan. Somebody just wanted to reiterate, did you say avoid wheat? And I'm sure that is what Dr. Gandhi said. There is a question, why avoid wheat? But can we just take Audrey? Okay, let's deal with that. And then we will definitely come back to you, Audrey. So why would you avoid wheat if you're trying to reduce inflammation? Question.
Oh, is that to me? Is that my question?
Yeah.
Okay. That's just because the gluten, the gluten in the wheat is also one of the triggers of inflammation. That's why if you are having an inflammation problem, you need to avoid the gluten, which is found in wheat. So I'm not saying that you should not eat wheat, but if you have this problem, then it is a good idea to leave it alone and eat other grains like millet, sorghum, and things like that.
Thank you. That was very informative for myself as well. Yes, Audrey. Jonathan?
No, I was just going to say, I think we should take Audrey, but also there's a question. So we could go back to, someone is asking is it good to do weightlifting? But we'll take Audrey and then Dr. Gandhi could answer the question.
Yeah. Audrey, if you'd like to unmute, please.
Yes, I'm unmuted actually. Thank you. In fact, Dr. Gandhi has said most of what I wanted to say here. It was more to comment rather than ask a question. The issue of sugar, oil, and salt avoidance is usually used in cleansing or detoxing. The reason being that you can get all the sugar you want, all the salt you want, and all the oil you want, like Dr. Gandhi said, from fruits, from veg, and from all the food that you eat. And for that length of time that you avoid the salt, the sugar, and the oil, your body cleanses out and washes out all toxins. The other thing I wanted to add is that garlic is another very good anti-inflammatory. It's brilliant. I have proved it myself. Infection, and I couldn't see my GP because of the issues, and I used garlic to clear a very severe infection. Very good in clearing, in addition to all the things that you have added, which is your turmeric, your gingers, and all the spices that we use.
And one other thing of garlic is it will help to lower. Sorry, somebody needs muting. Thank you for that, Audrey. Thank you.
Thanks. Thanks.
Garlic. You're welcome. Garlic also helps to reduce your blood pressure. So if you are on blood pressure tablets, you need to just be cautious before increasing your intake of garlic. We do have another hand from Anne-Marie. You said something about, sorry, somebody needs to mute. With a bit of background noise. Thank you. Yes. And Anne-Marie, and then there was the question with regards to, was it exercise, Jonathan?
Yes, Sharon. Is it recommended to lift weight? Oh,
okay. Yeah, we can take that question. Yeah. I was talking about strength exercises. So if somebody's weak, I mean, yes, it would probably be better for you to go for the aerobic, where you're breathing in your oxygen, because you will increase your muscle mass that way. But I suppose I'm coming more from a sports science background. But Dr. Gandhi, would you like to address that question? Is it good to lift weights?
Well, I think that's a good question. The thing is, you mentioned already that, you know, every exercise can be good depending on why you're doing it. Different types of exercises, they have different functions. So weightlifting will help to increase your muscle mass. And it's a good exercise, nothing wrong with it. You know, the only precaution that we know is that you should not start lifting things that are too heavy at the very beginning. And as you get stronger, or as you think you're getting stronger, don't lift something which is heavier than you. So you are weighing 60 kgs, don't lift something which is 70 kgs. One has to be also moderate with that. The purpose should be to stay healthy, that you can be, you can lift great things, you know. It has to be, the healthy living should be the goal for everything that you're doing. So yes, tone your muscles, build some muscle mass, but with good health in mind. Don't overdo it.
Thank you. And that's the temperance side of things with the New Start acronym that Dr. Gandhi mentioned: nutrition, exercise, water, sunshine, temperance, air, rest, and trust in God. There was a question with regards to anemia. Did you see that one, Jonathan? I just need to. Oh, sorry. We still needed to go to Anne-Marie, didn't we?
Yes.
Yes, Anne-Marie, you can unmute.
Hello, good evening, Dr. Gandhi. How are you? Just want to find out, is it safe to add like apples and grapes to salad, just to avoid the different salad dressings?
I think, are you talking of adding apples and grapes to vegetable salad?
Yes.
Well, if that is the case, then it's not a good idea for the reason that we mentioned earlier on, that you can have a fruit salad and you can have a vegetable salad. There are only a few fruits that are known to be neutral fruits that you can mix them with vegetables. One of them is avocado. That's why you can slice some avocado in your lettuce salad. And the other one is a lemon. That's why you can also squeeze a lemon in your vegetable salad. The other one is tomato. Tomato is a fruit, even though we call it a vegetable sometimes. But these are the only ones that are known to be neutral that can go with the vegetables. But the other fruits, your bananas, your grapes, your apples, your pineapples, you know, your watermelons, they need to be in the fruit salad and not in the vegetable salad. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I'm assuming that the grapes and the was it raisins? From the same fruit, right?
Apple.
Oh, apple were added to the salad, was for flavor.
Yes.
Yeah, and they do have a nice taste. I must admit, you know, I've done that in the past, confession time. But now I know better. There's other ways that you can add flavor to your salad. Even doing things like having a bit of ginger in your salad, or a peppermint leaf. Not just one leaf, you know, but you chop it up and mix it in. And there's lots of different salad dressings that are healthy salad dressings. Yes, you could put lemons in. It might not be the taste that you're after, but it's about getting used to the different flavors and thinking about the health benefits. Why am I eating what I'm eating? Yes, there is a place for apples and raisins, or apples and grapes rather, but that it's not best to be having that with your vegetable salad. You can have that with your fruit salad.
Okay.
Or just on its own.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Is
Okay,
there any more question?
There's been a few comments in the chat and they have been addressed, most of them. We can just remind individuals that we do have the WhatsApp groups that specifically for the women, the men's and spiritual health. We have a spiritual health WhatsApp group. I'm not sure if we've put a link to that yet in the chat, an invitation.
Not as yet, Sharon. What I would suggest, if anyone want to join any of the group, if they leave their contact details, their contact information, then we'll add them, as we are looking to transition to Telegram. So I would recommend it best if you leave the information with us, and we'll add you if you want to be added to any of the groups.
Okay, somebody's asked, what about anemia? Anemia, sorry, get my pronunciation correct. What does it say? What do you recommend for anemia? And if you're leaving any contact details, your name is not quite sufficient. We would need a number. Thank you. You've left your number now. Thanks, Don. And if you wish to not have it on the big group so that everyone can see, you can just privately message one of the admin team and we'll take note of your number. So yes, anemia. Dr. Gandhi, do you have any recommendation?
All right. I think it may depend on which part of the world you are. There are actually so many things that one can do. However, let me mention that one may still need a doctor's diagnosis to find out why they are anemic, because sometimes the anemic condition may be a complication of another disease. So if we're not addressing the cause of the anemia, it may not go for good. So what I'm sharing now, it's not the diagnosis, but I'm sharing some of the foods that can boost your blood volume. So I am assuming you have gone to your doctor and he knows what is causing the anemic condition and that thing is being addressed. But in the process, you're looking for some foods that can give you more nutrients to boost your blood volume. So these are the things that I can mention now. One of them is actually spinach, and mostly these dark green vegetables. They are very rich in iron. Beetroot is one of it, especially if you make a beetroot juice to get a good concentrate. You also get lots of iron in it. The other foods that you can easily get, of course, the Brussels sprouts, some they call them baby cabbage. They're very also good source of iron. I have used in some cases avocado leaves. So it means you are living in the country where you have an avocado tree. You may boil the avocado leaves. And that is also excellent when it comes to boosting blood volume. I have also used in the past the fig leaves. Again, you need to be in the country to get some fig leaves. You may not be able to have access to it if you're living in a flat in the city. Again, that is known to boost blood volume. The other thing that I can know over my head is moringa. Today, you can get moringa in most health shops, in powder form, in capsule form. I eat it as a vegetable. It's also one vegetable that is known to be rich in iron. So yes, also getting some legumes like the lentils are also known to be a good source of iron. Sunflower seeds are known to be a good source of iron as well. So there's actually quite a lot. But the leaves that I've mentioned, the avocado leaves, the moringa, the spinach, the amaranth, the kale, they're actually maybe on top of the list because they're common, they're easy to prepare. You steam them, you don't overcook them, and they can give you more iron that your liver can convert into hemoglobin, which is the main thing that you need to boost your blood volume.
Thank you so much. And you know, when you mentioned the moringa, it was yes, you can eat spinach raw. With the moringa, you would get the benefit also of vitamin C, because your body needs vitamin C to absorb the iron.
Amen.
So if you are taking your sources of iron, if you can have loads of iron as much as you, if your body's not absorbing it, it doesn't help. It doesn't help with the anemia. And someone's asking, can you eat raw spinach? Yes, you can. You can have it in salads. You can even juice spinach if you have a juicer. So there's different ways you can ingest all that benefit for your blood. So thank you for the question, and thank you for the answer.
Sharon, just if you would permit me, I'd just like to share something with the audience. As we start a new year, in the coming year, I want to make this book available to all.
Got mine too.
If you guys can see it, it's the Natural Remedies Encyclopedia. This is volume 6, but we do have volume 7 available. It has over 1,100 inexpensive remedies in there, and over 730 diseases that it covers. We'd like to make these available so people would be able to purchase them from us. In the coming weeks, I'll share more information regarding that and other books that I have. I've also have a recipe book, which I want to make available to you guys as well. We'll try to do them very good prices so you can afford them.
Well done, Anne-Marie, you've got the latest. Michelle, we have a question. Oh, I've not heard from you for a while, Michelle. Thanks for joining us and Happy New Year. We have a raised hand from you.
Yeah.
Michelle?
Yeah. The question was, I was the one that asked about the inflammation, and the doctor kindly was saying that, yes, I should avoid wheat. But then I saw in the chat about gluten. Sorry, let me go back to the chat. Oops. Unfortunately, I'm using the small one, so, oh, come on.
Me too. I know the feeling.
The question in the chat said about, unless you're gluten intolerant, I would not recommend using gluten-free. So I'm kind of confused. I'm not quite sure I understand that. I mean, stay off of wheat, but get gluten-free products, or, I mean, I don't have like irritable bowel syndrome or anything like that. I'm not diabetic, I'm not blood pressure. And this is also going back to being overweight, or just trying to alleviate the inflammation in my knees. I do aloe vera juice. I take the natural leaf and take the gel, and I do it 4 ounces in the morning, 4 ounces at night. I also do the turmeric, ginger, honey, manuka honey, and lemon, and I drink that, sip it through the day. So, and garlic. So I'm like, okay, what am I still doing wrong? You see, so I'm trying to think what more, and it didn't help that I fell recently, but besides that, I'm just trying to figure out what else I can do, to be honest. I don't know if the question was clear.
Yes, I think the question is clear, but I may suggest that if maybe that can be discussed on one-on-one,
okay,
it may be the best, so that we look at the issue holistically,
okay,
and you see the best way it can be helped. So you have my contact, we can get in touch.
Okay. I've also done, charcoal and flaxseed poultice on my knees as well. So, but I have your telephone number. Do you also have an email, or do we only contact you by phone?
Yeah, I have my email on the message here.
Okay. Thank you so much.
All right.
Sorry, I was muted there. Well, I was saying, I believe we're coming to the end of today's show. It's almost 5 o'clock. We've been on for 2 hours now. So unless we have, I think we've come to the end of the show. So what we would recommend is that you have a wonderful new year. Go for it. Enjoy it. Have a great new year. Charlene, yes, thank you for answering some of the questions on the chat with regards to the pricing of the Natural Remedies Encyclopedia book. And thank you so much, Dr. Gandhi. We're looking forward to walking out of spiritual obesity. That sounds really interesting. So we'll have a little talk on that one and see when we can fit you in for that. Do you have anything else that you wish to say, Jonathan, before we end today's session?
I'd just like to say, you know, for those persons that put in their number in the chat, if they could just write next to their name whether they are a man or a woman, male or female, F or M.
Yes, sometimes the name does give us a clue, but sometimes it doesn't. You know, there's some names that are both masculine or feminine. So thank you so much for that. We'll continue to lift you up, all our audience, in prayer as we ask you to pray for us as well. And we know that this year, with it being a new year, some people haven't made it. There's some people that are in hospital. We're really grateful for those who are looking after the sick, and those who are looking after their loved ones at home. Everybody appreciates all that you're doing, so continue to do what you're doing, and we lift you up in prayer. And those that are grieving the loss of loved ones, again, we sympathize with you.
You want to know where I got it from?
Sharon,
Yes.
just like to say, I've stepped out of the room for a bit, so I don't know if I've missed it, if Dr. Gandhi had a challenge for us this week. For the coming
all
week.
about challenging. I don't know. Is there a challenge to encourage us to walk out of obesity, Dr. Gandhi? How can I forget the challenge? Thank you, Jonathan.
In fact, the challenge in that book that I shared, at the end of it, there's a challenge on how you can walk out of obesity.
Okay, so if you could just screen share that book again for us, please, Dr. Gandhi, that people can, I know I did my screenshot, but maybe not everybody did.
Let me try
and where we can obtain the book from.
Okay, let me try to get it there again. I think.
Are you able to screen share?
I'm trying to see if I can find the slide. Can I just put it down on the message?
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
That's
You
fine.
got it? It's there? Is it on the screen?
The book isn't, no.
No.
I found it, but let me share it on the screen now. Can you see it
and
now?
there's the website. Thank you. Yeah, we can see that.
All right.
Thank you very much. And I'll encourage our listeners to, if you've missed anything, go back and watch the video. You could possibly do it whilst you're doing a bit of aerobic exercise in the house, you know, because you don't want to just be sitting all the time as you're watching, like I have been. And take on board the advice, and remember, it's just for educational purposes only, but you know, you will only benefit from it as you put it into practice. So next week we'll ask you how you got on. Thank you very much. You can stop the screen share now, Dr. Gandhi. Thank you. So is there anybody on here who would like to unmute and just tell us where you're joining us from? Because we have a good audience. We've had over 40 on YouTube and a good number on here. I'm not sure what the maximum was. I know it was over 100. But if there's anybody that would just like to greet us, and we're happy to hear from you. We've got maybe 10 minutes of that, and then we can end the program. You think you missed the challenge, Felicia? The challenge, Dr. Gandhi said, was if you get the book, there's a challenge at the end of the book. And
you will not get the book.
Pardon? The challenge is to get the book and then see what the challenge is at the end. Also, to bear in mind the presentation that we've had, because maybe not everybody can get hold of the book. Bear in mind the presentation that we've just had. There's been lots of challenges in that, just in that alone, whether it's having your lemons, having your lemon water. I recommend, where can we buy the book? There was a website. It says you go onto that website and that's how you can get hold of the book. I've not been on there myself, so I can't tell you exactly unless Dr. Gandhi chooses to unmute and tell us exactly what to do when you go onto the website.
So
but yeah,
it would be good if we do get a price. Is there a price to the book and how much it costs? Dr. Gandhi, would you like to share that with us?
Yes, it's $9.95. It's $9.95. So $9.95. If you go to the website,
$9.90.
So you'll get change after $10.
If you go to the website, it's straightforward. You can see everything there, how you purchase the book. It's an ebook.
Thank you. Thank you.
I must say, Chairman, can I speak?
Yes, and Renata, yes, we are weekly. And thank you for joining us, Renata. Yes, Anne-Marie.
I must say that book has got a vast amount of info in it. On your group, when people ask questions and I tip in sometimes, I got the information from my book. I got that book last year, early last year, because I had a problem and I was on YouTube searching and I saw a lady teaching medical missionary and I embarked on it and I took that book. Brethren, everyone on this platform, trust me, if you got that book, medication, pharmaceutical medication will stay out the window. That same book there.
Natural remedies.
All natural remedies. Everything you need to know from food to vitamins to herbs to seed. Get that book.
And I do like the way it's written. It does give you some encouragement after each section as well. Yeah. It is a good holistic book. Which book, Betty? The Natural Remedies Encyclopedia. And Jonathan was speaking about making that available.
I'd just like to say of late, we've been, we usually, at one time, we usually set the challenges, but of late, we've been asking the speakers to set the challenge. I do recognize, Sharon, there's someone they're asking if we can set them a particular challenge so they can, at least challenge themselves for the week. I don't know if you have anything up your sleeves. You could,
walking. Okay, I noticed earlier on while this presentation was on, it started snowing here in Nottinghamshire. So that would be a bit of a challenge for myself, but hey, rain or snow, the fresh air is going to be good and the exercise is going to be good. So we could recommend that people go for a walk this week at least 3 times in the week for a minimum of 20 minutes. If you wish to walk for longer, then wonderful, but that's a minimum recommendation for exercise. And if you can do 5 days of the week or 6 days, even better. And if you can do more than 20 minutes, again, great. I'm not saying, but remember temperance, okay? So we're not saying walk all day and forget and neglect your family, of course not. But yeah, so the challenge is for at a minimum of 3 days a week, go for now that's going to be a challenge to me as well. Okay, go for a 20-minute walk at least 3 times a week.
Sharon, it meant to be a challenge.
I know.
Not because it's going to challenge you. It meant to be a challenge.
Yeah, okay. It's a challenge for us. It's a challenge for us because whether it's hot or cold, wherever you are, you're going to have to make that time for that walk. And who's going to benefit? You and your family. And you can make it a team building thing. So, you know, I know we're over here in the UK, we're in lockdown. So there's a limit to who you can go in close proximity with, but outdoors, so long as you're social distancing, you may be able, actually I shouldn't say that, but anyway, stay with your family, stay in your bubble, okay, and do your walking. A challenge of 30 to 50 kilometers per week. I didn't quite see that, it's gone off my phone. 30 to 50 kilometers for the week. Felicia, I'm not sure how far. I know about steps, as in doing 10,000 steps a day and things. I'm not sure how far to walk to get to my 30 or 50 kilometers. But if we do the 20 minutes of exercise 3 times a week, 3 times during the week, then let's feedback next week and see how we got on, as well as seeing what's in Dr. Gandhi's book.
So I think we are at the end. As Sharon said, if anyone would like to unmute and greet us, tell us where you're coming in from. We always appreciate to interact with the audience.
And also, if you are going out for your walk, be sensible. If it's cold, wear the appropriate clothing. If it's hot, again, don't overheat, because it depends. Remember, we are an international audience, so it depends on where in the world you are. Dress appropriately.
Thanks so much.
Just like to say goodbye to those on YouTube, and thanks for joining us, and we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Thank you for the challenge, Sharon.